Hi, my name is Roxane Webster.
And I'm Keith Alba.
We are with my home team at Keller Williams Advantage in Lakewood, Colorado.
That's right. And this is our weekly vlog, I guess we would call it, the Honest Hour, right?
The Honest Hour, that's right.
Where we bring you different things, different topics touching on real estate and the surrounding areas that are there. And we do so in what we like to say is a no spin type of thing. Shoot you straight and just tell you how we see it. Of course, other than Roxane's spinning. But.
Of course, outside of my spinning. And let's talk today about what the impact of the Marshall Fire on the Boulder housing market has done. Holy Christmas.
Right. I wish we didn't have to talk about this at all. And it's a topic that is definitely going to affect the real estate market, both for, home ownership and rentals. For
throughout the entire region, not just Boulder.
Right. For sure. Agreed. Such a tragic event. It was final count was, you were just saying, Rox, over 1,000 homes and potentially up to another 2,000 that were damaged by smoke and fire damage.
Smoke and water. Yeah. So you're looking at 3,000 families displaced right now in a housing market where we already, if we look at November 21, year over year, year prior to November of 2020, we only had 96 new listings come to the market, which is down 75% year over year. So the inventory already was at crisis low. And now we just lost 1,000 to 3,000 in houses in the stock. And we've got all these people scrambling, looking for a place to live.
Yeah. I mean, the extreme supply and demand issues that we're talking about. I mean, take what we've talked about in some of our market updates and then just exponentially put the differences that are on there. I mean, all of a sudden 3,000 families into the market looking for housing, whether it be to buy another house while they wait to rebuild their former place or go into the rental markets, or it's a tragic situation. And unfortunately, the people are still right in the thick of it. I mean, they've survived the fire, which is a blessing in and of itself, yet now they're scrambling to try and find a roof to put over their heads and their families' heads. And it's a sad thing.
We've seen some short anecdotes of short-term rental prices doubling month over month. We have seen a normal, healthy rental market should be running at about a 4% vacancy rate. And we're sitting at near zero now. If somebody's got 4 walls and heat, it's getting scooped up and the rates are going through the roof.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're also hearing extreme stories of people that are price gouging, I would almost say, Rox. It's sickening to see people trying to take advantage of folks in a situation like this, where rents before were more than sufficient to probably cover the mortgage payments that they're at. And now, because of this thing, they're taking advantage of some of these poor folks. And all I got to say is maybe karma comes back for them.
That's right. So what that means to the real estate market, both of those pressures are continuing. We're seeing what was already a crisis in inventory now. That's my dog asking to go out. That's what that bell is. She keeps ringing. This is absolutely going to impact prices as well. We were already at the Boulder County median price was at $735,000 prior to Marshall. That was up 15% from the prior year. So we put this type of pressure onto it as well. If it's on the market, it's gone.
Yeah, for sure. And what we've been talking about here for the first part of this video is the short-term impacts on, the immediate things that this Marshall Fire is causing. Long-term, when we start looking at stuff, you got to take into the fact that now all of a sudden there's these 1,000 houses that need to be built. So there's going to be huge demand on the general contractors to go in to do the rebuilding, which was also previously a compressed market. There was huge demand. People were, staying put, maybe remodeling, updating their current properties because they're just saying, you know what, we can satisfy, or we can survive if we do some updates here. So trying to get into a general contractor's schedule before was difficult. And now you're going to see it, just exponentially worse to try and get these folks. I mean, the builders are struggling to put up houses, as quickly as they can. And now all of a sudden there's these extra 1,000 units that need to be pushed, plus, the repairs for that smoke and water damage houses. So
that's exactly right. Yeah. And I think that this, just as an insert on this, if you are thinking about selling your home anytime in the next 18 months to 2 years, it behooves you to give us a call to do a little bit of battle planning, I'm calling it, because we are, right now, prior to Marshall, we were seeing people who were, contractors whose schedules were filled out 6, 7, 8 months. If you're looking at moving in 18 months, we should be talking to that contractor right now. We should be giving you advice, putting you in the right direction, people who are, going to continue doing quality work in the midst of all of this demand, and get the plan out there early so that you don't go and do your usual routine of 3 months prior, calling your realtor and then coming up with the strategy to get it on the market, only to find that you're going to have a 9 or 12-month delay on whatever your plans were because you can't get somebody in there to paint the house and maximize your profits.
Right. And I think it's important to, consult with us, not only for that planning and foresight to save yourself some stress later on, but there are certain improvements that you can get a better return on, right? So spending your dollars wisely in some of these places will get you extra money on the sale, whereas spending money in other places, you'd be lucky to get that money back out. So there's definitely some science behind where to invest those things. The foresight and planning that Rox was talking about is going to save you a bunch of stress and headaches down the road. So give us a call. We're happy to help. We'll come over, we'll sit down, we'll look at the house, we'll give you some of our ideas and thoughts, and then you can start that process. But doing it early is going to be key in this situation.
Yeah, and it almost can't be too early, right? Couple years even. Because it's going to take at least that long for this supply demand thing to work its way through the digestive tract of the housing market. Returning to the Marshall fire, we've been hearing some horror stories about insurance. You want to touch on that, Keith?
Yeah, unfortunately, insurance sometimes is one of those things that you put in place and you kind of go the rump appeal route. You set it and you forget it. Well, what unfortunately some of these former homeowners are experiencing is from this appreciation that's been happening or something, maybe their coverage hasn't been increased enough to keep up with that market demand. Yes, it's a downside to it that your premiums will go up as the coverage amount goes up. But these poor folks, they got no roof, their house has been burned down, everything that they had is gone. And now they're finding out that their insurance that, what the company's going to pay them is they were underinsured, and it's not going to cover a replacement or a full replacement of the house. Definitely not going to cover all of the personal property that was lost. So getting in touch with your insurance broker, having a conversation, figuring out what they're basing your policy off of in terms of the value. If it's off of the assessor's office, it's probably underinsured. You want to make sure that you understand what the value of your property is and get your insurance to match that. And it might be a good idea to do some shopping at this point too. We've got some great insurance brokers, some friendlies that are trustworthy. And so if you want to get some estimates and find out if there's a better plan and a better company for you to switch to, again, we're here for you.
Well, and I'm not going to make any friends in the insurance industry by saying this, but the insurance companies are in the premiums collecting business, not in the claims paying business.
Absolutely.
If you're running into, of course, when you've got something this big, it's going to take a while for everything to be processed, but might not be a bad time to engage a lawyer if you're getting jerked around.
I think a lawyer is probably going to be the best place to start. There are some independent adjusters that you can hire that'll help, kind of combat the insurance companies, but that might be a strategy for later on. Start with the attorneys first and make sure you understand the law, or you have somebody on your side that understands the law. Fight with these big companies, because Rox is absolutely right. They will do everything that they can, and everything that they'll do everything they can, and probably some things that they shouldn't, in order to protect their funds, rather than paying them out.
That's right. Well, thank you so much. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? Honest Hour. Make sure that you click that subscribe button if you like this content, and scoot on over and hit the notification bell as well. We are working to increase our viewership, and we'd love to see you share this, we think, useful and charmingly delivered information to anybody that it might be helpful for.
For sure. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.